This is Advanced Math, Unit 7, Lesson 6. And today you should have a handout for your notes that I've previously given you in class. If you did not receive one of these, you can hit pause and write all this stuff down and then fill it in as we go. Okay. Number 1, for the following triangles, determine whether angle B could possibly be obtuse. We wouldn't know for sure if it is or if it's not. That's why we underline possibly. Okay. You have to remember back to Math 2 when you learned about opposite angles, angles and opposite sides. You learned that 37 matches with 15 and angle B matches with 12. You learned that if 15 is bigger than 12, then 15's angle is bigger than 12's angle. So 37 and 12 go together. Angle B, and I'm going to repeat that because I'm not sure if I said it correctly, 37 and 15 go together. B and 12 go together. And since 15 is bigger than 12, that means 37 is bigger than angle B. I'm going to repeat that. Since 15 is bigger than 12, 15 is bigger than 12. I'm ignoring the 37 for now. 15 is bigger than 12. That means 15's corresponding angle is bigger than 12's corresponding angle. So 37 is greater than angle B, which means there is no way that B is possibly obtuse. Obtuse means bigger than 90. If 37 degrees is greater than angle B, there is no way that angle B is possibly obtuse. So I'm going to just put down here, not possibly obtuse. Okay, next one. Let's see what we have. We have 37 again, matching, this time it's matching with the 12, and B's matching with the 15. What does that mean? Okay, so 12 is smaller than 15. 12 is smaller than 15. That means 12 corresponding angle, which is 37 degrees, is smaller than 15's corresponding angle, which is angle B. What does that mean? That means B is possibly obtuse. Angle B is possibly obtuse. We do not know how much bigger, but because it is bigger, it could be an obtuse angle. And there's a reason why we're talking about this. Let's just finish here, and then we will write down and discuss why. All right, next one, it's C with 15 because they didn't give me angle A or side A. So 15 matches with angle 40. Angle B matches with 20. Which one is bigger, 15 or 20? 20 is bigger, 15 smaller, so let's see. 15 matches with C, and 15 is smaller than 20. So since 15 is smaller than 20, that means 15's corresponding angle, which is 40 degrees, is going to be smaller than angle B, which means angle B is possibly obtuse. If B is bigger than 40 degrees, we do not know how much bigger, it is possibly obtuse. All right, again, it asked us to determine whether angle B could possibly be obtuse. Number 1, no way, because 37 degrees was bigger than angle B. Letter B, there was a possibility because 37 is smaller than B, and same with C, 40 is smaller than B. We do not know how much bigger B is, but we know because it's bigger, it's possibly obtuse. All right, number 2, find a value for B such that angle B is not obtuse, angle B is possibly obtuse. All right, So this time you're looking for the number 15 matches with 50. Angle B matches with side B. And they're asking us, there is no way for angle B to be obtuse. That means B has to be smaller than 50. So what does that mean about side B? Hit pause, try both of these on your own, and hit play and see if we have similar answers. All right. For it to not be obtuse means that angle B, that 50 degrees, must be bigger than angle B. That means angle B has to be smaller than 50, which means side B has to be smaller than 15. Any degree, or I'm sorry, not degree, any value smaller, it could be even 14.5 or 14.9, as long as it's smaller than 15 or even equal to 15. All right, for it to possibly be obtuse, that means that 50 would have to be less than angle B. That means B would have to be bigger, which means side B would have to be bigger. So I would say like 16 or 17, any number bigger than 15. All right, the reason we do all this is because you can't use law of sines to find an obtuse angle. We cannot use law of sines to find an obtuse angle. All right, you can use it on an obtuse angle. You can use it on an obtuse angle to find a missing side, but you can't use it to find an obtuse angle. And really quick side note, why is that? If you remember, law of sines is the sideways one. Remember suntan at the beach, inverse sine? And I said law of sines, but I meant to say inverse sines. When we're doing law of sines and we're looking for angles, we use our inverse key. Remember, if you're using your calculator to find an unknown angle, you use your inverse key. And if you're using your inverse sine key, it's only defined between these two quadrants, which is negative 90 to positive 90. Now, we don't get negative answers in this unit. We only end up with, well, as far as angles go. So we're only ending up with angles in quadrant 1, which, again, those are no obtuse angles. So, again, you cannot use law of sines to find an obtuse angle. It's not going to work. It's never going to give you an answer out here, which means you're going to do what I'm about to show you now. Okay, number 1, solve the triangle A equals 42, B is 22, and B is 12. A is 22 and B is 12. All right, let's draw our picture. A, B, C. A is 42 degrees, side A is 22, and side B is 12. Okay, so you're taking the test and you come to a problem like this. First thing you do is law of sines or law of cosines. Now remember, if you have an angle and its matching side, and you have another side or angle, you're going to be using law of sines. All right, so let me quickly fill in what's given. 42 degrees, 22, and 12. Okay, so from now on, because we're going to have possibly obtuse angles thrown in there, from now on, you're going to have to check if B is possibly obtuse. When we first introduced law of sines last week, I made sure none of the homework problems had possibly obtuse, so use law of sines on all of them. Now, there could be some possibly obtuse, so you want to make sure you're paying attention to it. Okay, so how do we do this? Let's check. You check 42 and 20, 42 matches with the 22, B matches with the 12. Because 22 is bigger than 12, do you see that? 22 is bigger than 12, that means 42 is greater than B. Which means B is not obtuse. Angle B is not obtuse. There's no way it's going to be obtuse because angle B has to be smaller than 42 degrees. We like these. What this means is you can do law of sines just like you did when we first learned it. So when you come to problems either on homework today, or when we do it in class, or on a quiz or a test, when you come to this and you see, oh, B is not obtuse, no special treatments, you just do it as you've always done it, which is sine of 42 over 22. I have to find B first since I know side B, equals sine of B over 12. And this is just like what we did last week. 12 times sine of 42 equals 22 times sine of B. I'm trying to get sine of B by itself, so divide by 22, divide by 22. Go ahead and plug that in your calculator now. This piece right here is what you're plugging in, and don't forget at the end, second sign, second answer. So I still think you cannot see the calculator very well, but you should know how to plug it in. I don't know if you'll be able to see it a little better there. So, no, I'm just going to zoom out since you can't see it. But you know how to type it in. We've been doing it in class for some time. So I'll type it in with you. 12 times sine of 42, close parentheses, divide 22. I end up with 0.3649, blah, 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 but that's not my answer. I hit second sign, second answer, equals, and I get 21.406. 21.406. Now remember, you can use the inter angles add up to 180 to find angle C. Do that now. Add those together and subtract from 180. And that gives you 116.594 degrees. And now we're going to use these two to find side C. Now kids will say, oh no, it's an obtuse angle. Yes, you can use law of sines on an obtuse angle, but you can't use it to find an obtuse angle. And I only use law of sines to find angle B, and angle B was not obtuse. All right, so I'm going to use the original set, sine of 42 over 22, and I'm looking for side C, so I'm going to use angle C, sine of 116.594 over C. No inverse key on this one because I'm looking for a side. C times sine 42 equals sine of 116.594. Divide both sides. I'm trying to find C, so divide by sine of 42. All right, go ahead and plug that in your calculator. Sine of 116.594 divided by sine of 42. Don't forget to close your parentheses first. And I'm going to type that in one more time because I know I forgot something, and I did when I wrote it down, and I apologize. I forgot to put my 22 right here. Let's see where it's at. When I cross multiplied this way, I forgot to put my 22. All right, so type it in. $29.400. When you round the 399 blah 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 7, it rounds to 29, and yes, you put the zeros in there. 29.400 to show that you rounded. Okay. So this number 1 was really nothing new. The only thing new we did was to check if angle B was possibly obtuse. Since it was not, we did everything as we did last week. Nothing new yet. All right, number 2. And you will have some like those on the test. You will also have some like this one here, where they give you this information, you draw your picture. On these, I definitely suggest you draw your picture because it makes it a little easier to see if angle B is possibly obtuse. All right, I'm just going to fill in. Okay. Here I have 31 matching with B and 12 matching with 20.5. And since 12 is smaller than 31, that means 20.5 is smaller than angle B, which means B is possibly obtuse. B is possibly obtuse, which means we have a special situation here. Okay, so let's quickly write down what we have. 20.5, 12, 31. When you have B is possibly obtuse, you do not have a unique solution. You have more than one possible solution. So we do case 1 and case 2, which means you're going to have 2 sets of solutions. Case 1. Case 1, you treat angle B as if it is not obtuse. So angle B is not obtuse. Okay, angle B is not obtuse. What's nice about this one, the first case, is it's just like what we did on the previous page, which is just like what we did last week. All right, so I'm going to try to go a little quickly here since we just did all this. So I use this as my original set. Sine of 20.5 over 12 equals sine of B over 31. All right, I just did one of these with you, so I'm going to have you hit pause, cross multiply, divide, second sign, second answer, hit play, and see if you get the same answer in the end. Okay. I have angle B comes out to be 64.783 degrees. If you didn't get that, try it again or come into class and ask questions. All right, then we add and subtract from 180, giving us 94.717. And then I use that to find side C. Doing again sine of the 20.5 over 12 equal, since I'm looking for side C, it's sine of 94.717 over side C. Since I'm not looking for an angle, I'm not going to be using my inverse key. So cross multiply and divide equals, and that's your answer. Hit pause, come back, and see if we have the same thing. Okay, I have 34.149. And that's it for case 1. Really nice and beautiful because it is just like what we did on the previous page, which is just like what we did last week. Okay, case 2 is angle B is obtuse. Angle B is obtuse. Okay. We're going to rewrite this. Angle A equals blank, angle B equals blank, angle C equals blank, A, B, C. All right, given information stays the same. The 20.5, the 12, the 31, all of that stays the same. That is not changing. The BC, these sets here, the ones that we are looking for, is what is going to change. So what you do, you first always start with angle B. And you find angle B by taking 180 minus angle B from case 1. So this angle B, you do 180 minus angle B from case 1. Always, you take your angle B from up there, you subtract it from 180, do that now, 180 minus 64.703, that ends up giving you 115.217. And that is an obtuse angle. I didn't use law of sines to find it. I used 180 minus this previous answer, and it gave me the obtuse angle. And then after that, it's really easy because it's just like what we did up here. You add and subtract and get angle C. You add and subtract from 180 to get angle C, which is 44.283 degrees. All right, so one more time. The original information stayed the same. I found angle B by doing 180 minus my original angle B from case 1. Got my obtuse angle. Added these two, subtract from 180, found my angle C. You could see that C is different from angle C up here. Forgot to box that one in. Angle B is different from this angle B, so now we need to find side C. So we do the original set. Oh, my pencil's running out. Sine of 20.5 over all right, sorry about that. I had to grab another pencil. Sine of 20.5 over 12 equals, I'm looking for C, so sine of angle C, 44.283 over little c. Cross multiply, divide, do that now. And that gives you 23.924. So really, it's not hard, it's just an extra 2 steps. Most likely what they'll ask you for in the test is find side length C. And in this case, you would have 2 answers. You would have this answer and you would have this answer. And you can see they are not the same. All right, come with questions into class and we'll talk about this more if needed. Next one, A is 85, A is 15, B is 25. A, B, C, 85 degrees, 15, and 25. Really quick check, 25 is bigger than 15, which means angle B is bigger than 85. So angle B is possibly obtuse. So we're going to do the same thing we did up there. All right, angle A is 85 degrees. Little a is 15, little b is 25, little c we don't know, and we start and we do the case 1 and the case 2. All right, so remember case 1, you treat it as if angle B is not obtuse. Case 1, angle B is not obtuse, which means we do just like what we learned last week. So I'm going to use this right here to find my angle B. So you would write down sine of 85 over 15 equals sine of angle B over 25. Cross multiply, divide, plug it in your calculator. Don't forget to use your inverse key. Go ahead and try that now. I have 25 times sine of 85, close parentheses, divided by 15 equals, and then second sine, second answer, and I get domain error. So if you're getting that, do not freak out, which is why I didn't want you to push pause, because then you'd freak out. Domain error, what is going on? That is not incorrect. That actually should happen. The reason is there's no solution. This is not, there's no triangle you could ever draw that has this angle with these two sides. The angle's too big, the sides are not big enough, they're not going to meet at the end. No solution is the answer, and you will have one of these on the test. So remember, you plug it in, it didn't work, no solution, which means the angle was too big, and these sides were not big enough to connect at the end. All right, so either one solution, like right here, let's say we're looking for side C, one solution here for side C, two solutions here for side C, and here no solution. You don't have any more work to do at all. This is done, no solution on number 3. Okay, number 4 we're going to do together in class, so you can try it on your own. Actually, I do want you to try it on your own. This is when you'll have to use law of cosines on, and we'll discuss it in class.